The thing I really care about is the mission, making the world open. About half my time is spent on business operation type stuff. I wear the same outfit or, at least, a different copy of it almost every day. I started the site when I was 19. I didn't know much about business back then. All of my friends who have younger siblings who are going to college or high school, my number one piece of advice is, you should learn how to program. Back, a few generations ago, people didn't have a way to share information and express their opinions efficiently to a lot of people. But now they do. Right now, with social networks and other tools on the internet, all of these 500 million people have a way to say what they're thinking and have their voice be heard. A lot of people are focused on taking over the world or doing the biggest thing and getting the most users. I think part of making a difference and doing something cool is focusing intensely. There are people who are really good managers, people who can manage a big organization, and then there are people who are very analytic or focused on strategy. Those two types don't usually tend to be in the same person. I would put myself much more in the latter camp. I will only hire someone to work directly for me if I would work for that person. It's a pretty good test. Bill Gates has always been a mentor and inspiration for me even before I knew him. Just growing up, I admired how Microsoft was mission-focused. I think that more flow of information, the ability to stay connected to more people makes people more effective as people. And I mean, that's true socially. It makes you have more fun, right? It feels better to be more connected to all these people. You have a richer life. This is a perverse thing, personally, but I would rather be in the cycle where people are underestimating us. It gives us latitude to go out and make big bets that excite and amaze people. I got my first computer in the 6th grade or so. As soon as I got it, I was interested in finding out how it worked and how the programs worked and then figuring out how to write programs at just deeper and deeper levels within the system. I always kind of see how I want things to be better, and I'm generally not happy with how things are or the level of service that we're providing for people or the quality of the teams that we built. But if you look at this objectively, we're doing so well on so many of these things. I think it's important to have gratitude for that. I remember flying in, driving down 101 in a cab, and passing by all these tech companies like Yahoo. I remember thinking, maybe someday we'll build a company. This probably isn't it, but one day we will. If you go through some big corporate change, it's just not going to be the same. If we sold to Yahoo, they would have done something different. If you want to continue your vision of the company, then don't sell because there's inevitably going to be some change. The Connectivity Declaration is about uniting the whole industry, a lot of companies that typically compete very fiercely, to push in a coherent direction. Connectivity just can't be a privilege for people in the richest countries. We believe that connecting everyone in the world is one of the great challenges of our generation, and that's why we are happy to play whatever small part in that we can. There are different ways to do innovation. You can plant a lot of seeds, not be committed to any particular one of them, but just see what grows. And this really isn't how we've approached this. We go mission first, then focus on the pieces we need and go deep on them and be committed to them. I feel that the best companies are started not because the founder wanted a company but because the founder wanted to change the world. If you decide you want to found a company, you maybe start to develop your first idea and hire lots of workers.
Facebook was not originally created to be a company. It was built to accomplish a social mission to make the world more open and connected.
Facebook is in a very different place than Apple, Google, Amazon, Samsung, and Microsoft. We are trying to build a community. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. Move fast and break things. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough. Figuring out what the next big trend is tells us what we should focus on. Think about what people are doing on Facebook today. They're keeping up with their friends and family, but they're also building an image and identity for themselves, which in a sense is their brand. They're connecting with the audience that they want to connect to. It's almost a disadvantage if you're not on it now. A squirrel dying in front of your house may be more relevant to your interests right now than people dying in Africa. If we're trying to build a world-class newsfeed and a world-class messaging product and a world-class search product and a world-class ad system, and invent virtual reality and build drones, I can't write every line of code. I can't write any lines of code. When you give everyone a voice and give people power, the system usually ends up in a really good place. So, what we view our role as, is giving people that power. I think a simple rule of business is, if you do the things that are easier first, then you can actually make a lot of progress. By giving people the power to share, we're making the world more transparent. Once you have a product that you are happy with, you then need to centralize things to continue growth. The question isn't, what do we want to know about people? It's, what do people want to tell about themselves? You get a reputation for stability if you are stable for years. I just think that VR and AR are going to be a really big deal. It's really easy to have a nice philosophy about openness, but moving the world in that direction is a different thing. It requires both understanding where you want to go and being pragmatic about getting there. The thing that we are trying to do at Facebook is just help people connect and communicate more efficiently. Our mission is to connect every person in the world. You don't do that by having a service people pay for. The companies that work are the ones that people really care about and have a vision for the world, so do something you like. It's really easy to have a nice philosophy about openness, but moving the world in that direction is a different thing. It requires both understanding where you want to go and being pragmatic about getting there.